Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. A bright sunny day and a lot of good news when we talk about today's day, because just yesterday an important development on this side of the world, the region at large. But first we are about to dive into, and might I say, we have a very special guest here with us, and this is between China and Pakistan and the diplomatic relations between these two brotherly nations. Now, the person who is joining us online here with us is a personality that is close to all of our hearts, and he has been serving Pakistan since a very long time, and he has been deployed on multiple positions, on multiple international forums. He has been representing Pakistan on almost every important international forum that you can imagine and you can name that exists out there. He has been representing Pakistan in the International Committee of Nations in a very diligently. And when we talk about this, we are of course referring to the 74th anniversary of Pakistan-China diplomatic relations, and also the personality who is joining us on today's morning show. We will have a great conversation with him, His Excellency KHALIL HASHMI, Pakistan's ambassador to China. Now, first, a brief introduction. Ambassador Hashmi is Pakistan's ambassador to China since November 11th, 2023. The career of the diplomat who joined foreign service in 1994. For the most of us, that's our lifetime. Most of us right now watching the TV screens, we were born that year. So our lifetime equals his career in the field, and he has been representing Pakistan. He has also served as the permanent representative to the United Nations and other international organizations in Geneva 2019 to 23. Big personality, big name, close to our hearts, and we graciously welcome him on today's morning show. Thank you, sir, and assalamu alaikum.
Ji, walaikum salam. Thank you very much for having me and for very generous introduction.
Jazakallah, sir. Sir, 74th anniversary of Pakistan-China diplomatic ties and relations. A big day indeed, and recent win in Operation Bunyano Marsus, Chinese tech taking over the warscape, also Pakistani pilots behind it, again showing to the world that Pakistan and China are hand in hand. Pakistan and China, not only do they gel together, but they care about each other, and when together they perform like none other. How would you describe these 74 years?
Never a dull moment. That's the brief, I guess, description of Pakistan-China 74 years of our diplomatic relations. Ironclad, ever greener, friendship of all weathers, all seasons, and it has withstood the test of time. So I think there is no other such interstate relationship to be compared with. So it's very special, very unique, and ever-growing and ironclad.
Right. When we talk about Pakistan and China, we see a lot of student exchanges taking place, and we also see a lot of business activity between the two countries. We've got small businesses in Pakistan operating from the production lines, buying stuff from the production lines in China. Are there increases that you've seen over the past few months in these activities, and how would you describe Pakistani youth and Chinese youth gelling together?
Well, I'm very fortunate to be serving in China for the second time. So I was here 2008, 2010. And at that time, in terms of students, Pakistani students in China, the number was just under 10,000. Right now, 16 years later, the number has grown threefold. We are talking about over 29,000 Pakistani students here. Most of them, they are pursuing masters or PhD or postdoc in various disciplines. So I think they're very talented, very driven, and we are supporting them in two ways. One is to have, in the last 2 years, twice we have hosted a Pakistani Students and Professionals Forum. The first priority is to connect our Pakistani youth studying in China with the Pakistani professionals that are in China, so that they guide them, they counsel them, and also prepare them. If they want to pursue jobs here in China, they can help them. And if some of them, they want to go back to Pakistan, they can get connected with Chinese businesses and enterprises which are working in Pakistan. The second is we've just launched, after the last professional students in professional forum a mentorship program. So that's more structured, that's more tailored, and we are helping Pakistani students connect with a few Pakistani professionals in various fields. So they then provide them a more tailored and more precise advice, mentorship, and it's like holding hands and walking them through the Chinese very growing market, especially on the tech side, on the various scientific disciplines in business studies, or on the research side.
Now, when you take into account China, talking in terms of aquaculture and agriculture, China is coming up with advanced technologies, and food scarcity and food security are the topic of the hour for the world right now, taking into account the climate change. Are there any programs going on right now, as you are in China, for people who can indulge in these activities? Because Pakistan requires good knowledge in part of agriculture and aquaculture.
So yes, that is true. We are pursuing four tracks. One is on the education as well as training. You may have heard Prime Minister, when he visited last year, he announced that we would send 1,000 Pakistani professionals, agriculture professionals, to China for hands-on training in several 8 or 9 areas, which is from seeds to irrigation to pesticides and better cultivation techniques, so on and so forth. So that's the training and education part. We have more and more students now. We're trying to get more students, some on scholarship and others on, otherwise, to get them to various Chinese universities. This is one side of it. The other side, and mutually reinforcing side, is to have them work, these Pakistani students who are based here, or researchers, agriculture researchers and scientists, on joint research projects, on joint research labs. So this includes the aquaculture, fisheries, or other areas. For example, seed development. China is way too advanced in when it comes to enhancing the yield of different crops. So that's what we are tapping into. The third important area is the business-to-business engagement. So we have hosted in China um, business-to-business roadshow focused on fisheries. We have also hosted roadshow bringing Pakistani companies and then making them, sit with the Chinese counterparts in fruits and vegetables, in animal fodder. These are all sectors related to agriculture. Last year, we took 160 Chinese companies to Food and Agriculture Expo in Karachi. So with these efforts on the business track, on the investment track, but also on the training and education as well as on research track, these are the areas we are working on. Of course, agriculture is a vast area. You mentioned aquaculture, fisheries, but also crops, enhancing their yield, better, drip irrigation, better fertilizers, better pesticides, livestock sector, and so on. So we are very much focused. We want to take it to the next level. So several proposals are underway.
Wow, how exciting to hear how China has been helping us not only in technology, but with agriculture and aquaculture, as Muzammil said. So, Your Excellency, over these 74 years of friendship, what are the key milestones that Pakistan and China were able to achieve? Can you please highlight those?
Several, I would say. If we go back, for example, in history, 1960s was, a very transformational time for our ties. So 1963, Pakistan was one of the 14 neighbors of China, one of the first ones to conclude a border agreement with China. Next year, 1964, Pakistan was the first non-communist country to start its airlines. Pakistan International Airlines flew from Karachi, it went to Dhaka, from Dhaka it went to Kunming, and from Kunming it went to Shanghai. And on its way back, from Shanghai it came back to Beijing, and then it went back to Pakistan. So that was the start of the operations. Then also at the end of 1960s and early 70s, two events took place which laid the foundation of our ironclad friendship. And the first one was Pakistan provided China a window to the world by way of facilitating first secret, meetings between United States and China. And subsequently, that led to the establishment of diplomatic relations between China and the United States. But also, Pakistan was in the forefront of supporting China getting its rightful seat at the United Nations. So these are just, they are go back in history, but in the modern times, for example, our two countries, in 2008, I was here, a big earthquake, happened in southwest part of China, Wenchuan earthquake. And Chinese people still remember that Pakistan gave them all the tents that we had, among other things, among other help. 2010, devastating floods took place in Pakistan, 2011, and then during the pandemic and so on. China has always provided us with all the support that it can. And I think the headline is, in terms of economic relations, was the launch of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. And under that, we have, had more than $26 billion of investment, more than 250,000 of jobs created, 8,800 megawatts of electricity added to our grid, and many other transport infrastructure projects and energy projects. So all in all, I can probably spend an hour explaining the milestones, along the way. But these are some of those, and of course, our defense collaboration with China has been long-standing, and there are several other areas in diplomatic area between political parties at the people-to-people level, and sports, and so on and so forth.
Your Excellency, before today's show, I contacted all of my business buddies and I told them that I'm about to interview a very important personality, so they should be watching this show right now. As you said, 180 Chinese companies were taken to Karachi. When we talk about these business exchanges and we talk about Pakistani industry visiting China, or the representatives of the Chinese industry visiting Pakistan, are there any important, significant events that are coming up that our youth and business community should not miss?
Well, thank you for taking that up. We have invested considerable time and effort on this particular the business part of it, or the investment-driven joint ventures that we are pursuing in China. So apart from what I said, 160 companies that we took to Karachi last year on food and agriculture, we convened a first and very unique business and investment conference last year in June in Shenzhen when the Prime Minister came. So for the first time in Pakistan's history, we gathered 105 Pakistani companies in 21 sectors that the embassy, we ourselves had identified, where we had either existing comparative advantage or potential comparative advantage by utilizing or tapping into Chinese technology, finance, and management practices. And then we gathered 250 Chinese companies in these 21 sectors. And in one day, this is what makes this, business and investment conference unique in Pakistan's history, that in one day, we organized 1,000 B2B meetings between these Chinese and Pakistani companies. Out of it, 30 MOUs came, 16 have been implemented. We are tracking others. And subsequently, we have held 6 additional roadshows, B2B roadshows in China, for example, in the apparel and textile sector, in the leather and footwear, in fruits and vegetables, in medical and surgical equipment, fisheries, and plastics. And there we organized 850 meetings, 45 MOUs were signed, valuing over $600 million. We have now planned, coming to your question right now, we have now planned 8 additional roadshows. For example, these are the sectors in which we are organizing from July to December this year in different cities of China. So this is electric vehicles, for example, manufacturing and assembly, solar panel manufacturing, power storage. This is another sector, steel, iron, and copper as collective sector, We also are working on chemicals and petrochemicals. Another sector, we are also going to do a roadshow on software development, on business processing, outsourcing, on financial services, on food processing technology. So these are the 8 sectors where we would hold roadshows specific to these areas. Again, our effort is to encourage Chinese investment in Pakistan through joint ventures. I think we cannot even begin to talk about enhancing our exports unless we enhance our productive capacity. And the best way to do that is to harness and tap into Chinese finance, technology, management practices to enhance first and foremost our productive capacity. Only by this way we can enhance our exports. So that's our target, and this is what we are focused at. And recently, last point, in last month, I was in Pakistan. This time we took 200 Chinese companies for the engineering, healthcare, and minerals expo that was held in Lahore, HEMS. And last year we were able to send 100 companies, Chinese companies. This year we increased that number by 100%. So we took 200 companies there. We organized their B2B meetings. I was myself there. The good news is that we had, $150 million worth of contracts signed. Their contracts, agreements, not MOUs, and $300 million worth of MOUs. So if we look at the last 1 year alone, we are touching $1.2 billion, which are both trade component of it and investment component in the sectors that I mentioned. So this is where we are. We are very much focused on tracking how many and which MOUs are being implemented. So graduating from being just in matters of intent to concrete agreements and contracts. So I think overall we are doing well. We are very focused. We're pursuing a very targeted approach. And this is the way, I think, to go forward.
Now, for our viewers, you said 8 roadshows in these sectors that are being organized. Also, business process outsourcing, which Pakistan is sort of big on when we talk about this sector, where we are giving customer support and customer services to foreign companies. People would like to know how to apply and how to become a part of this mission that you're leading right now.
And how to upskill themselves with this specific skill set.
Yeah, these are 2 different things, and then let me elaborate. First part is, I think we have already prepared the documents and working paper for each roadshow, and we have shared it with the Board of Investment, and we have recommended that the Board of Investment consult and coordinate with the line ministries, for example, in the case of electric vehicles, Ministry of Industries and other relevant ministries, but also relevant provincial departments, and then also reach out to industry relevant businesses and people who are in this area. So they have started that process. So in each sector, because not all of them are going to be organized in in 1 month alone. So each month, practically July, August, September. So the best part is to reach out to chambers if you belong to some the 8 sectors that I mentioned, or to the main federal ministry, or to the provincial department. That's the kind of they should reach out. They will let them know what is in it for them, why are we organizing these roadshows, and how can they best leverage their strengths, so that's how they can express interest and come to China. We will connect them with the counterparts, Chinese counterparts. But before they come, we have also made provision to organize their online meetings before they come, so that when they come, we host physical meetings, but also try and take them to different factories, industries, where they can go and have a first-hand look and have even more detailed discussions. The idea is not just to have a visit for the sake of visit, but to make it as productive as possible. The second part on upskilling and skills, I think that's a separate stream where we are working. We have already hosted the first ever vocational and education training forum. This is an initiative by the embassy. And we know we are very acutely conscious of the fact that 26 million Pakistani children, boys and girls, they do not go to school. This is a huge challenge. And I think we owe it to our nation to provide them, opportunities to get some skills so that they are able to, live a dignified life, have some livelihoods, and also contribute to national development. So that was the starting point. We have focused on identifying, two or three sectors. We are working with NAVTAC. We have had first meeting with them. We are reaching out to provincial TEFTAs, the Technical and Vocational Education and Training Authorities. And we are, already in coordination with the ministries, relevant Chinese ministries here, for example, the Ministry of Human Resources, and their provincial counterparts, as well as enterprises. China's success, today's success, in many ways goes to its strength and its focus on vocational training. And they have done extremely well. And I think this is an area where we are now focused on harnessing and tapping for Pakistani youth as well.
Right. It was a candid discussion and we are excited. We are celebrating today the 74th anniversary of Pakistan and China diplomatic relations. Thank you for your services that you have offered to the state of Pakistan, and thank you for guiding the youth the way you are guiding the youth.
And thank you for motivating us today.
Motivating us, definitely. And the business community that looks forward, and the people that look forward to the skillful training and also collaborating with our ironclad brother nation that is China. Thank you so much for being on this show and taking your time out from the schedule. And we will be right back. Eesha, Rehan and Muzammil Khan will be right back with more transmission for you. We've got two amazing guests and a bunch of news, but right after a short break. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone. And as we are continuing on with the transmission today, an important news, an important development yesterday. I would like to add that the enemy was coming up with a lot of plans, a lot of derogatory sentences, words to, look down upon the great nation of Pakistan and create an image in the foreign society that somehow Pakistan has been done away with, but under the great leadership of the armed forces and also the wise diplomacy that Pakistan played, it showed that Pakistan is a mature state and it is on the table. Now coming to the great news, Chief of Army Staff General Syed Munir was promoted to Field Marshal. This is the topmost rank for the armed forces. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has conferred the highest military rank of Pakistan Army, the Field Marshal, upon the Chief of Army Staff General Syed Munir. This historic decision was taken by the Federal Cabinet chaired by Prime Minister. The Prime Minister, Shehbaz Sharif, has extended his heartfelt felicitations to General Syed Munir on his well-deserved promotion to the prestigious rank of Field Marshal. Now, this was the big news that we had to break, and yesterday was a celebratory day, as this was well-deserved, because under his leadership, Pakistan was able to defend its sovereignty and the territorial integrity.
And speaking about Pakistan, we need to talk about how Pakistanis love indulging in tea, which is why I'm so excited to announce that we are celebrating International Tea Day today.
Well, it's sort of like it rhymes. Yesterday was B Day, today is
Today's
Tea Day.
I love that connection. So the International Tea Day is being observed today to highlight the significant contributions made by tea to the livelihoods, sustainability and well-being of people. The day was officially recognized by the United Nations in 2019 to celebrate the cultural heritage, health and benefits of economic importance of tea, to promote eco-friendly practices and to support tea growers. And today we are sitting with our
fantastic, as you see, we've got our cups in front of us, fantastic tea cups. All right, so now talking about health and diet and tea and tea's importance, we have somebody who's well versed in this area of information. We've got FAROOQ. He is health and diet specialist. He joins us for this transmission here in our studios today. Assalamu alaikum, Faisal. How are you doing?
Wa alaikum assalam. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Sir, it is a pleasure. Now, all of us here in the industry, let's start with the industry first, are very conscious about our skin and our weight. What are the top 2-3 things that destroy skin health and weight?
Firstly, eating those foods which are not made naturally, like going for the processed foods. Whatever food will be processed, it will be not healthy for the body.
Right.
So first thing is that, and other thing is that not controlling your diet. The main thing is that if someone controls their diet, their overall body will be healthy, their skin will look more glamour, and they will be more healthy.
Exactly, and you know, Faisal, 33% of adults in Pakistan are obese. So what exactly can they do to go on a weight loss journey? And is weight loss only restricted to losing fat, or is it actually being the best version of yourselves by gaining a lot of muscle and being in the best physique?
Yes, definitely. This is a very important topic, and my mentor, Dr. Wasim, also says that we should go for a weight gain and a weight loss on both the sides. So first, we should lose some fat from our body, and it depends upon the condition of the person.
Right.
If someone is already having a lean body, he's thin, but it depends that he is having a visceral fat in the body. Visceral fat is that fat which is present on the organs, and that fat is damaging the organs, not the other
body.
thing. Yes. So that leads to fatty liver and the cardiac health issues, other problems related to that. So whenever we give customized diet plan to our patients, our patients, they ask me that, sir, क्या होगा इसमें, पहले हफ्ते में होगा क्या, कितना weight loss होगा? So I brief them that weight loss is a slow process, and healthy weight loss needs a lot of time.
Yes.
So 20 to 30 kg is possible in 6 to 9 months. And the consistency allows the person to achieve a healthy weight. And in terms of healthy weight, it means that losing the fat and gaining the muscles. So both these things are important side by side.
When we talk about visceral fat, you said fatty liver and cardiac diseases and problems, and there is a healthy way to lose fat. What is that healthy way to lose fat? Take us through the diet for a normal person to lose fat in a healthy manner, and also the timetable.
The timetable is not much important, but I'll put a light on the timetable first. Some people are doing some jobs, like they are going for a shift of 4 hours, and then they sleep for 2 hours, then they again go for a shift of 4 hours. There are a lot of clients connected with me. So they always say that time is important. I just tell them that no, time is not important. Eating the things which are recommended to you are important, and eating in a variety and all the things. Do not even skip any of the meals. So then we start the weight loss journey for the patients. It is like doing calculating their calories first, and then knowing their current condition. Like if someone is weighing 130 kgs but his ideal weight is 100 kgs or like 90 kgs, then we will give him a caloric deficit plan. And that plan will be having a lot of meals. Not like that, like not having meals, or like it will be around having 50% proteins in that. And protein is like, people say to me that protein तो बहुत महंगे हैं और हम नहीं ले सकते. So I tell them proteins are not that much like expensive, और आपकी सेहत से ज़्यादा तो कुछ भी नहीं है.
Because you don't have to consume a lot of protein. It's just a small part of your diet.
Exactly.
So they imagine it to be a very big part, that they have to invest in mutton and beef and a lot of things. But it turns out you just have to take 100 grams. Now, talking about protein and this weight loss diet, there's a controversial diet out there, keto, you know, minusing all the carbs. And there's a lot of debate in circles regarding keto diet, if it's healthy, if it's not healthy, if it's long time sustainable, can somebody sustain it for a longer period of time?
Adding on to Muzammil's question, I want to highlight how you said that we should eat all foods and not skip any meals. And adding on to Muzammil's question, it's not just the keto diet. There's so many more diets. There's the carnivore diet, vegetarian diet, vegan diet, and then the keto diet as well. So in these diets,
are these healthy? Are these extreme forms of diet? Are they healthy?
Because we're missing whole food groups in each diet. So please tell how is it harmful?
We all are different. You see, Allah's made us different, and every person requires a different kind of diet. Like if a female is having PCOS, she will be requiring a different sort of diet. There might be a chance to decrease a sort of a food group, like decreasing the carbohydrates to 20% to 10%, and the carbohydrates would be the complex carbs, like the nuts, dry fruits, those whole wheat flour or whole wheat grains, whole wheat processed food, those will be added.
Right.
So we can't skip any of the meals, but these diets you talked about, the Mediterranean diet, the carnivore diet, they emphasize on a specific food group.
Yes.
But for long term,
Yes.
these diets are not acceptable for the body.
Exactly.
They will lead to organ failure in future. They can't be taken as a long term. Usually people take the diet as easy, but it is not that much easy. They say that I want to lose 10 kg in 1 week. So this is not possible. When you are trying to achieve that is something which is overburdenizing the body.
Right.
That will cause a burden.
You know, thank you, Faisal, for highlighting how a proper weight loss journey needs time and effort, and following a restricted diet plan and following a proper timeline. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being on the show. And excluding whole diet groups, as Faisal mentioned, is not healthy for your body. You need to consult to a proper professional who can take your health into account and then design your diet for you. Now, as we move on with our transmission, there is another interesting guest that we have in plans for you today. And when we talk about the social and developmental aspect of our society, there is something that needs to be addressed, and that is, how does communication between individuals change the way that our personalities are shaped? And in that reference, we have someone who has a lot of deep insight into this. And we are joined by Dr. JAVERIA NAVEED. She's an MD, Doctor of Medicine. But when we delve into this discussion with Dr. Sahiba, what I would like to talk about is, have you ever been to sleepovers with your friends?
You know, Muzammil, I was never allowed to go on any sleepovers, even with my long lost second cousins or even my friends. My parents would always stop me from going on sleepovers. What about you, Muzammil?
Well,
don't shine your male privilege on me that you have been allowed.
Well, talking about sleepovers, there's something very interesting that I noticed growing up. You know, when we talk about these sleepovers, when we talk about these ways to communicate with our peers, there's a lot of communication that happens when you hang out with your same age people. And we are joined by Dr. JAVERIA. Dr. JAVERIA, if you could please adjust your frame a little bit. Can you hear me?
And you know, I was going through Instagram and I saw Dr. JAVERIA's viral reel, and let's talk more about it with her.
Dr. Sahiba, can you adjust your frame a little bit? We're about to take you on air.
Okay, all right. Is this good?
No,
can you flip the screen,
You have
please?
to flip it. It's upside down right now.
Give me just a second. Sorry about that. Okay.
Yeah,
Is this
perfect,
good now?
perfect. Yeah, perfect.
Exactly.
Perfect. All right, so we're a little short on time and we're a little excited about this topic that we have here. Shine some light on the social developmental significance of sleepovers.
Sure. So firstly, let me talk to you guys about my viral reel. It just so happened that my mom was visiting me and I happened to ask her questions while she was raising her. I asked her, according to her, what are the three things that she did right while raising us? And her main emphasis was that she never allowed us to have sleepovers. And many years down the road now, she doesn't have any regrets about it. And now I'm a mom of two kids, and I agree with that statement that, I think my mom did the right thing by not allowing us to do any sleepovers and keeping us out of harm's way. And I have the same stance for my kids as well, that I don't allow sleepovers to them as well.
And why do you think this is important for parents to know, especially young and new upcoming parents, to learn about why sleepovers can be potentially harmful for their kids?
Sure. So there is a lot of risks involved. As we know, the world has changed. It has become very, very, very dangerous. The most common risk is the risk of child abuse, right? And this is not to say that these risks cannot happen during the day, but in my opinion, during the day when people are up and about, there are a lot more eyes monitoring the kids compared to night when everybody is asleep and there may be less monitoring happening. So the chances of anything bad happening at night are increased. So first and foremost, there is a risk of child abuse. Then I feel like kids these days have access to screens and internet. They may be exposed to inappropriate content while at a sleepover. They may fall into peer pressure to try different things, which may be harmful or dangerous. There may be risks of bullying involved at a sleepover. And in America, it's a huge issue that some homes may even carry guns, and your child may be able to have access to guns or drugs, which you may not have at your home. And this makes sleepovers potentially dangerous. The other thing is that when your child is sleeping over at somebody else's house, you don't know who else is coming in and out of that house. You don't know whether who your child is going to be sharing a room with or a bed with. So a lot of things and factors are not in your control, which makes sleepovers potentially dangerous.
Well, if for studies or if for some reason, if it becomes necessary or if it becomes, you cannot avoid sending your child, what would be a proper way for parents to manage a sleepover situation sort of a thing?
Sure. So there is a way to navigate this issue safely. Firstly, you can try a sleepover at a family member's place where, you trust the family member and your child may be able to experience it so that you know how your child is going to settle into a new situation if they ever go to a sleepover to someone else's home. Second thing that you have to make sure is that your child is mature enough, they have good communication skills, and they have access to you at all times during the night so that if, God forbid, something wrong is happening, they're able to give you a call or a text. The other important thing is that you have to make sure that you set up a code word with your child, which they may be able to text you or they may be able to call you and say that code word if they are ever in a dangerous situation so that they can call you for help and you're able to go and get your child and save them from a dangerous situation.
That was very well explained. And how social bonding is very relevant and important for kids, especially for their cognitive developmental skills. So what are any alternatives to sleepovers that kids can enjoy being together? Is it a supervised play date or any other activities that you could suggest?
Yes, so that's what I do with my kids as well. Now my daughter is at an age where she's asking me for sleepovers all the time, but instead of allowing her for sleepovers, I hold play dates at my home where I'm supervising them or at my friend's home that I trust and I know that they'll be watching my kids at all times and they will be monitoring them. So this is one of the safer alternatives for sleepovers.
That was very well explained.
Right? It's so more importantly, there's a problem that I spot here. If the parent themselves, if they don't have a healthy social circle, they wouldn't have healthy people or healthy children from healthy people for their children to interact with. So is it important to first, I think, to mitigate this issue, work upon ourselves and surround ourselves with people who we can trust and then let our children, enjoy the time that they want to enjoy?
For sure. I feel like, there's a lot of proponents, there are a lot of parents who are proponents of sleepovers, and they say the sleepovers can help with creating memories, creating confidence and independence in your kids. But in my opinion, your child's safety trumps over everything else. So you cannot compromise on it. You have to make sure that you have a social circle that you can trust, where that you're able to trust your kids with as well. And then I think in those social settings, you may allow interactions and play dates for your kids to develop these things.
And
Go ahead.
Since we are talking about your viral reel, it actually reached a massive amount of audience. So did you actually receive any criticism from certain parents regarding your opinions?
Yes, I did. There were a lot of parents who criticized, my choice as well, and I understand them. But with everything in parenting, there is no right or wrong. I feel like whenever a parent is making a decision for their children, they are trying to do the best for their children, and they're trying to make the best decision. So to each their own. As far as I'm concerned, this is something that I wasn't allowed, and I see the value of it and the importance of it, and that's why I'm not allowing. But yes, there was criticism. People said that you're preventing your kids from making memories. You were prevented by your parents from making memories. कुछ लोगों ने कहा कि बंदर क्या जाने अदरक का स्वाद. इस तरह की भी बातें थीं. But I understand it's important to have these discussions and not be deterred by all the criticism that you get. So this is how I see all these reels, whether I'm making it or somebody else is making it.
Like you said that nothing triumphs over your child's safety. God forbid, you send them over for a sleepover and something bad happens, you know, you can't then, you know, undo what has happened. So I think it is better to take care of the safety of your child. Dr. Saiba, great work. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for giving us your time out of your schedule. And this was a very nice episode that we brought to you, and also stick to your screens for tomorrow's episode that we will be bringing with more excitement and more important news. But
you know,
before we
today's
close,
episode helped highlight the fact that how my parents and all of our parents protected us from preventing us from going on sleepovers.
And
as kids, we never understood. We would always get upset and throw tantrums. Oh, why my other friends are allowed? I'm missing out on a lot of things. But you know, today's topic especially highlighted what potential issues can, and it was very good in educating all the young and upcoming parents.
Right, and with this, be sure to join us on our next episode. Also, do visit YouTube and do leave your comments on our videos telling us about how you would like to see this program progress forward. Until then, next time, this is Good Morning. Allah Hafiz.